I need to do my Square story again.
Can we just name the next? Can we name the dog Bodie McBoatface?
Yeah,
I think that's
Bodie
funnier.
McBoatface would be way funnier than Doggy McDogface. I can't wait for Penelope to be like, Mom, I want Nintendo cats. And I'd be like, we have cats.
Yeah.
We have two real, play with the real cats.
No, Nintendo cats only.
Yeah.
Yes, chat explodes with wah.
Some people are saying that the dog should not be named Waluigi, and those people were wrong. That's a great name for a dog. Actually, Graham, next time we get a cat, let's name it Wario.
Why?
Because it's a good name for a pet.
Yeah. I guess. And then you can go, Wario.
Yes, exactly.
Wario. You can pick it up and grab its little paws and be like, I'm Wario. I'm gonna win. And then it'll scratch you and be like, meow.
Or if it's like a Baxter cat, it'll be like, meow.
Just very pliant. Tie him in a knot. Anyway, you want to redo that one story? All right.
Yes.
This is ready. Paul, you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ready, Kathleen? Go for it.
Final Fantasy XV has been delayed. The game will now be released on November 29th in order to give Squeenix 2 more months to optimize and polish the game before release. Okay, not okay. This innocuous piece of non-news was initially reported by a small site called Gamnesia, and then later confirmed by Kotaku. Hardcore fans of the series were understandably disappointed, and then absolutely refused to accept it. However, instead of eventually acknowledging that the game would be delayed, they declared that the news was false clickbait, photos of instructions for changing the GameStop street date signs were shopped, and that the sources that informed reporters of the delay were, and I quote, feminazi SJWs out to start riots. In short, people were very, very angry and made lots of hyperbole-laden comments on Reddit and 4chan, and then declared that they would cancel their pre-orders and never give Square Enix money again. Over a 2-month delay. I just want to remind some members of our community that there are 5 stages to grief, and they are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. You guys are great on the denial and anger, and I'm sure some of you are acing depression, but you're skipping acceptance and replacing it with a new stage called shitposting, and I'm not sure how that's going to help you move on.
All right.
I love that so much. Anger. You can go back wide now.
Yeah.
Anger.
Yeah. It's denial, anger, depression, shitposting, death threats, shitposting. Those are the... Like, I understand that the game has been delayed 2 months after Square made a big deal out of the release date, so why would they delay it again? Obviously, they didn't want to delay it. I think that's like... I would much rather they delay the game by 2 months than ship out something that needs a massive day 1 patch that's like super hard like meh.
Who was it? Nick Chester, I think, was a tweet this morning was like, this game has a giant day 1 patch. No, this is the worst.
We've delayed this game so it doesn't have a giant day 1 patch.
No, this is the worst. I mean, it'll probably still have a day 1 patch. It's like, whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, like, I'm fine with the day 1 patch, but like when it's like this game has an 8 gigabyte day 1 patch, it's like, oh, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, my internet. Oh, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like you just can't win in situations like this. There's no reasonable thing you can do.
Well, that's better. Then we don't have to look down at the iPad that much. Stop the local recording.
Do the 5 stages of shitposting have sandworms? If not, why not?
They're not a game.
Yeah, there's the day 1 patch to add sandworms. If so, that's okay.
RAFK. Meanwhile, Persona fans are going, another delay? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts fans are going, well, we waited 10 years already, so...
Yeah, I mean,
that's sort of... that's the Final Fantasy 15's been in development broadly for 8, 9 years? What?
Yeah.
Because it was part of the... It was
part of the Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
13 verses kind of originally, and then there's been... It's a
then
very
it got
complex...
bumped up to...
That is a reductive look at it, I know, but the point is, the game that is being released, aspects of it have been worked on for...
Yeah, I feel like Persona fans are just more just like, Okay. Right? Like, we don't even care anymore. We're just like, oh, 2016? Believe it when I see it. 2017? That's more like it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. 10 years. Originally announced in 2006 as Final Fantasy 13 Versus. That's Paul's butt.
It is. It was. It still is.
I can't really move that much further over.
It's fine.
A little bit.
Oh, 1 second. I just don't want to
All right,
roll
there we
over
go.
the any cords.
Hi, everybody.
Paul, can you see yourself in the monitor?
A little bit.
What? Okay, so
I can just see my eyes.
I can see both of you.
I can't see. I can see both of you, but not myself. We're,
This means
literally
something.
a Professor Layton puzzle right now.
This means something.
Paul,
I can
Wait,
see both of you, and I can see my eyes just in the little
Kathleen
gap.
can see Graham and Paul, but not herself. Graham can see Paul and Kathleen, but not himself. Paul can see Graham and Kathleen and a small part of himself. Where is Dale sitting?
Pencil stroke. Sorry, I've seen you ask that a couple times. I don't know.
What's
If
the
you could
question?
merge 3 video games to create the ultimate game for you, what games would you choose? Dude, that's a broad question.
That's not something.
I was actually
I'm
thinking
gonna have
about.
to think about it.
I was thinking about this morning. In the realm of with the No Man's Sky thing with like people have been kind of like were like projecting their ideas onto
their hopes
it.
and dreams.
Yeah. And I kept thinking about like what if No Man's Sky, like the idea of a game that's like basically No Man's Sky, using No Man's Sky as like essentially like a glorified like server browser for Minecraft. So like every time you land on a planet, the planet is like one of the like Minecraft generated levels. And it's on a server and it's persistent, so there could be like other people working on stuff or whatever.
Right.
And then you can take off from that and be flying around in space and then go somewhere else, and because like No Man's Sky, theoretically there are an infinite number of Minecraft areas,
Yeah.
just different random seeds, right? I was like, oh man, that'd be so cool.
I feel like what Sean
That's not
Murray
the actual game, but that'd be
actually
cool.
wants to tell people is just like, dude, this is a game where you get just like rip fuck high and just chill out and look at planets. Right? But I don't think the Sony marketing people will let him say that.
Yeah, I don't think get high and then play my game is like a really great marketing
But he's
message.
said it like
He's-
multiple times. It's a very chill game.
Chill is not.
I mean, it's not the
It's
next.
not code for high.
No, but it's not the Netflix and chill kind of chill either, right?
I don't know. It could be
I don't think it's code for high, but
NMS and
it's
chill.
kind of. It feels a little dog whistly to me. It's like the game's just very chill, and people who like to get high and play games, I think, are sort of like,
Oh yeah.
I get you,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whereas I don't, and so I'm like, okay, chill. I understand what that means, but
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm like. I also feel that
coming
this,
soon from Dank Productions, Rip Fuck High, a school simulator where you also have to manage a grow up in the science lab.
that's actually pretty funny. I feel like perhaps like this is also like this game will take you a long time to get to the center of the universe, and like 3 months from now, people are going to be like, "Oh, wild," right? But
Okay, so right, the stories that we did today. Yeah, THQ Nordic.
Yep.
Why though?
It's. I mean, I get the like
I-
taking brand recognition and stuff, but like,
THQ is not exactly a marquee brand.
well, it's just like it was a, I guess, somewhat ubiquitous brand, but it was like a, it's like a publisher, right? Mm-hmm. So like THQ on a game wasn't like a mark of quality or a mark of lack of quality.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay,
Yeah.
it's like it didn't. I don't. Maybe it did to some people, but like to me, it didn't like mean anything. It
No.
was just like,
I liked Warhammer Space Marine because Relic made it. I liked Saints Row because Volition made it, not because THQ published those games.
Somebody asks you who got Saints Row. It was
Deep Silver
Deep Silver.
or the Coach Media, different from the the Republicans.
Yeah.
Not the Koch.
Not the Koch brothers.
No, but Koch Media, KOCH, and slash Deep Silver, and they did Gat Out of Hell. Yeah.
And now they're done with that Saints Row, and then the next Saints Row is going to be something entirely different.
Well, it's I can't remember what it's called. It's that game with the it's more sort of Crackdown looking thing. What was it called? Agents of Stillwater? No, that's a little on the nose. It wasn't Stillwater. Stillwater was the place in the first Saints Row.
I don't know what the game you're talking about.
I can't remember what it's called. Well, there was a trailer for it at E3, and then at the end of the
Agents
trailer,
of Mayhem.
Agents of Mayhem, thank you. And then at the end of the trailer, it was like, oh, but they're also kind of the Saints. Kind of.
Right. Because there was like, oh, look, there's a fleur-de-lis.
Yeah, and the character from Saints Row. Anyway, THQ says Dawn of War. Well, there's a new Dawn of War coming out. I can't remember. I guess is it Relic developing it, I guess?
There was actually part of a article I was reading the other day that was like, there are too many 40K games coming out.
Yeah.
Because I guess the license was being, Games Workshop was keeping the license pretty tightly controlled for a while,
And then
there's
they
been
decided,
some sort
wait,
of like change in
why?
their idea.
Space Marine was sweet. I'm bummed we never got a second Space Marine game.
Apparently, there's a really terrible one that just came out.
Yes, I heard
there was a
about
mobile game that they just ported to PC without changing it.
Yep.
And it looks real bad.
Sega bought Relic, the developer, because THQ owned the developer. Sega bought Relic and the Warhammer license. Take-Two bought the WWE license and Evolve from the Turtle Rocks game. Nordic bought THQ and the trademark, and also Darksiders and Red Faction and a bunch of others like Destroy All Humans, MX versus ATV.
THQ kind of got everything else. Like they came in like after.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, okay,
after
nobody wanted this.
Yeah.
And then it was mostly like very like C-list stuff, except for Darksiders, which didn't sell in the first round for some reason.
Inexplicably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. Final Fantasy delay.
Yep.
We talked about that.
Yep, people are real angry.
Yep. And that's fine.
We talked about No Man's Sky, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like that's obviously, it's a very cagey answer that by being cagey answers the question. It's like, are there giant worms in your game? And he's like, well, you probably want to find that out for yourself. But he also said, as part of the answer is, there are huge creatures out there. They're just rare.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one of the problem, or not problems, but one of the things with the answers that have been given for No Man's Sky is that because of the nature of the procedurally generated however many trillion possible...
And he can't be like, yes, this thing is here.
Right, but it's also like he's got foolproof absolute deniability, right?
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that there are giant sandworms in the game that nobody will ever find in the entire history of playing the game.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually disprove that there are giant sandworms in the game, because nobody will ever be able to, at no point will all of the planets ever be seen.
Yeah.
So they kind of have like a get out of jail free card on that, where it's like, it's trying to like disprove the negative.
Yeah. Sorry about the car. I don't know why that car was honking. Katniss bot. Yes, I think the logo sounds like a great idea. Was it Ego Terrorist was asking? Yes, I'm definitely still enjoying No Man's Sky.
Titanfall 2, don't want data miners. I mean, like, I feel like...
Why would you say that?
Because people, it doesn't have to be on PC for people to data mine the shit out of it. Look at Pokemon Go.
It's a lot harder.
Yeah, but if people want to get that information, they will. Right?
I mean, the other reason is, of course, that they don't, when they're just in the, because what they're trying to do with this beta is test all the server side stuff, and so they don't want to have the additional complexity of having all the possible, millions of variations of people's home computers. So it's like people are like, it has a crappy frame rate. I'm like, yeah, we know that. That's not
what we're doing with this beta.
Yeah. And yeah, the NASCAR story was just kind of super interesting. I legit had no idea that there was a truck series in NASCAR, so that's something
I like
learned.
how this because it's really expensive to get into NASCAR racing, right? Because you need a NASCAR.
Or a NAS truck in this case.
Yeah, and but he was like, "Look how good I am at this video game. Buy me a NASCAR, parents." And his parents were like, "Well, okay."
Is that really how that? I must have missed that part of the story.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, fair enough.
Apparently, he has to pay back a bunch of the money.
Well,
His parents
he's
are rich,
probably
but
well on
they're
his
like-
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's won a bunch of titles,
Yeah.
or won a bunch of.
Well, he's the points leader in the series right now.
Yeah, he's won a whole bunch of.
And he's won 5.
Yeah, apparently, one that he did really poorly at was one that was on a
great.
dirt track.
Yes.
Because
game-
iRacing hasn't actually built in the dirt track physics stuff yet, and so
They will.
he didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I love it. NASCAR vehicles are all made in the UK, incidentally, by a single manufacturer. Really?
I did not know that.
Weird.
Um,
Okay, what else are we looking for here? Speaking of No Man's Sky, some data mining.
speaking of data mining,
Discovered some, just mostly just some interesting models in the game. Just like a model of possibly what your character might look like, but maybe not.
it's that whole thing of like stuff that was just
Unused.
left in and didn't bother with stuff.
I like that there's a
Get rid of
3D
it.
model that is like, it's a ship, but also has the word space floating behind it in big letters.
Just so that maybe it was like they wanted to separate like a spaceship from a regular one really quickly. They didn't find any model for a giant sandworm,
No.
but that doesn't actually mean anything.
There's no models for any,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
they're all generated
yeah.
randomly, yeah. Oh yeah, Smash Brothers Hell. This is something we've kind of, I think we mentioned this specifically once, but we've definitely mentioned this general idea before, which is in multiplayer games, people who cheat or who get complaints or are deemed that they're not,
Jerks.
yeah, people who are deemed to be jerks get sort of quietly and without being told all put on the same server for bad people.
Yeah, so they can't be shitty at other people.
And so this was an article about Smash Brothers Hell.
It's like where only the jerks go.
Yeah, it's so someone who like had like disconnection errors. I can't remember why it was that they got put there, but they realized that they were in Smash Brothers Hell because all their opponents were terrible, like just spamming the attack button.
Right.
At the same time, insulting this guy for being bad, and all had usernames like the ones that were mentioned in the article were horse pussy and HIV positive. And then he was like, "Wait a minute, I think I'm in hell."
The
Boo.
apparently one of the big things was he was playing the duck hunt, which is like you play like the duck hunted thing.
Yeah.
And the duck hunt guy tends to play kind of, it's just the character is kind of a spammy character. You like throw a bunch of stuff and
Yeah.
things. And so he got annoyed with people. So I do like the idea that of, you know, making everyone all play against each other. The aspect of like not knowing that you got put into the weird thing could be a little problematic.
I mean, if the people are that bad and crappy, they might not even notice, though, right? And then they're not going to complain.
It's partially to do with, apparently part of the problem is Nintendo's
Reporting system?
Reporting system is not that great. Like the people, like the person who has had reports, like doesn't get told that they had a bunch of reports against them, so they might not like know that they're so. It's
League
like
of Legends has
it's like a
really solved this
communication
problem, but Nintendo has not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got punished in Overwatch a couple of weeks ago because I had to leave 2 games early
Because of Penelope?
because Penelope woke up, and so then the next time I logged in, because it looks at your last 20 games
Right.
for it looks at your last 20 games for an average of if you disconnect or whatever, and I guess that was enough. And so the next time I logged in, there was like this big blazon in the chat that was like, "You are being punished." And I was like, "Hello?" And I got negative 75% experience, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And I had to play like 6 or 7 games, not leaving to get the average back up for that to go away.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, Blizzard hates children. All right, confirmed here on Checkpoint.
You heard it here first, folks.
I mean, at least you're not like banned to like Overwatch hell.
Oh, we did have a Pokemon Go story there wasn't actually. There was two, I think. This is just really cute that an artist is hiding little like knitted Pokemon things like Pokeballs or little
like,
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Hiding them at Pokestops in town. Not our town.
But her town.
Her town.
Well, what's cool is that she's hiding. She hides these little like Pokemon. You have like a whatever little Pikachu or a little whatever, and attached to it, there's a little like tag attached to it. That's not like, trying to whatever get money for it, but it has like the instructions on how to make that one and like, make it and then like put another one somewhere else.
Aww.
So it's kind of adorable.
The other Pokemon Go news is that Niantic is starting to crack down on people who spoof their GPSs. That's good for people who are not doing that. So
Yeah.
If like your town, if like our town, your town's gyms are primarily controlled with extremely suspiciously high-level Dragonites, when I play a lot and I've caught like 4 Dratinis total, then it's just like, right?
Apparently, there's also an exploit that makes it so you can put a egg in charge of a gym. Like you can put an egg on a gym.
What?
And the problem is that an egg doesn't have health or anything, so it's impossible to get rid of.
I had not seen that.
And so apparently there's been some problems with like gyms that are defended by an egg.
That's amazing.
And there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Wow. That's
I would do that, but I
spectacular.
don't want to ruin it for other
I
people.
don't or risk being banned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
Definitely
Because the
cheating.
other thing is that where's the story?
Well, I said that they're banning cheaters
yeah.
and stuff.
There we go.
So, good.
Update on the Overwatch ARG.
Oh God, so complicated. They had to give them a hint, and then it turned out, and then they put some
So like
stuff
look
in
to
it.
the sky or it's over my head and then you
They're
look
like,
in the
no,
sky
no,
and
go,
there's this
you know,
thing in
you
the
Yeah, it
guys
sky.
turned out
need
that
to-
was nothing.
Oh.
You need to reflect on your past achievements, and there's something on the achievement page, and they found something on a map, and then something else, and then all of the like 18 steps. It's like almost impossible to follow. It's so overcomplicated at this point because they're trying to make something that can't be solved in like 2 hours. Because when you have 5,000 people working on it, right? They found an ASCII skull.
With
People
like,
are thinking it's a Day of the Dead skull.
yeah, the thing that's it's one of the sugar skulls with like the things. So yeah, again, apparently one of the big things they're using for this one was
It's amazing featherweight.
was embedding. What they would do, they would like there'd be like a link to like a screenshot that was a screenshot that had already been released, and the new screenshot looked a little weird, like it had like extra, it had like some data glitch in it or whatever. And so if you took that screenshot and the screenshot that had been released and like sort of and like subtract one from the other, what's left behind was like a code.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You think that's bad? Frontier has had an Elite Dangerous ARG running for about a year now. We're no closer to solving the next step after months.
Oh.
Wow.
At a certain point, like this thing, apparently they like gave out a clue for
Yeah.
this one, because you got to be careful with the ARG thing,
Yeah.
because you got to be it's got to be solvable, but also by the same token, once people's like once the sensitivity or like the gain for ARGs is like turned up, then people will be like, what's this? He used 2 ifs in one sentence. Does that mean something? That must mean that IF is coming to something. What does IF mean? Like, it's easy to create the world's most complicated ARG
Yeah.
when actually nothing was there.
Night Valiant, really? That seems so soon.
What's going on?
Well, so apparently the rumor is that Sombra, this character, is coming in a week. That seems very soon. Like they just introduced Anna like a month ago,
Right.
month and a half ago. I don't know.
Actually, yeah. Basically, at a certain point, if you get too sensitive with an ARG, it basically turns into like numerology.
Yeah.
The longest running world's largest ARG.
And then, oh yeah, this wasn't really like a story per se, but just this game, Reigns, which came out.
Looks really cool.
It's like a choose your own adventure with Tinder. Not
You
really.
swipe
with
left
Tinder.
and right to
Yeah,
do a
choose
series
your
of
own
binary
adventure, but
choices.
with only 2 choices.
It's like a choose your own adventure rogue-like Tinder thing. It looks cool.
It's not when we say Tinder. It's not actually
just the swiping left
it's
and
just
right
the swiping
part.
left and right.
I've
That's
never
jokes.
swiped left or right on
I
something.
never used Tinder myself.
Wait, is swipe left go away or yes?
I think it's go away.
Oh no, I'm sorry. There you go.
I don't know either way.
But
But yeah, Reigns apparently is really cool.
yeah, apparently a lot of it is just like by choosing A or B or left or right or whatever in these things, you just end up going down as with the choose your adventure thing, it's all about the writing, right? In this particular thing where apparently it's very weird and odd and silly. So it's one of those things that obviously it adds a ton of replayability because you can go down different paths and stuff.
Alrighty, I'm gonna pull up the notifications. Beep boop. Because it is time for the welcoming times.
Time for the welcoming times. All right.
Where we at? There we
Oh
are.
yeah, people are complaining about how
Richard is the first person.
Pokemon Go stops are maybe not the most like representatively mapped because.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, somebody said it in chat that because they basically used all of they basically used the map from Ingress to roll this game out. So basically, Pokestops are.
So places where Ingress wasn't that popular are not as good.
And but Ingress was mostly played by like sort of tech-savvy white males, which also adds a layer of badness to it, meaning that there's not a lot like in residential areas or in like, I mean, we don't really have this issue because Victoria is very sort of ethnically homogenous. It's pretty white around here. And people
we're
are
sort of
spread evenly in most neighborhoods, I would say, if you're not white.
And we're sort of in the downtown area anyway, so.
Yeah. But like downtown areas have lots of Pokestops, and residential areas have very few.
Yeah.
I mean, we live on like right on the border of a Pokestop desert. Like Fairfield, I can't see a single one. There's like one gym.
I assume that it's the same as with everything with Pokemon Go. They're just like frantically working on things.
Yeah.
I feel like
And that's like on their list. Obviously they can add more Pokestops whenever they want. They just have to
absolutely, but I feel like their priority is like fixing the game, or their priority is rolling out the game to everybody, fixing issues with the game. Removing Pokestops from inappropriate areas such as like the National
Cemetery.
Yeah, and then adding new Pokestops. Like
We were at a hotel in Seattle this weekend that they were like.
come play Pokemon with us.
Yeah,
and they would lure
lured
the stops
the stop
at the hotel.
They kept
It was great.
Kept it fresh.
I
Hey,
caught 2 Eevees.
This
from
may
my
not
bed.
be relevant to some of you, but we discovered that we didn't discover this, but we've confirmed it that incense acts very interestingly if there's no Pokemon around. So
on your nearby.
incense, if you use it in the game, you get half an hour of like increased Pokemon spawns just for you.
Yes,
So first thing is that they spawn more frequently if you're moving very fast.
correct.
And the second thing is that it pulls Pokemon from ones that would show up nearby in that area anyway,
And maybe a few others.
and some extra like uncommon ones or whatever.
Yeah.
But what if you're in an area that has nothing, that just will not spawn Pokemon naturally?
Because there's nothing around you.
Like say you're on a boat, like a ferry. Well, then it just pulls at random.
Yes. For example, this is took screenshots up
I think
so
you
I
would think
could.
that you would get like only water Pokemon if you're on a ferry.
No, it
No,
just
it's obviously got some sort of database, and
goes
it's
like,
like
I know where
here's
to pull
what.
from. I'm going to pull from at random.
Well, it's like here's everything that could appear in an incense. It's like, but first these nearby conditions have to be met. Nothing nearby. All right, go to the
John
the list.
Darris brings up a really good point. It has to be an area where a Pokemon would never spawn, not just a normal area that doesn't have anything at the moment.
So,
Right.
for example, we took a boat from Sydney to Anacortes, and there's nothing around there. There's no Pokestops. There's nothing. So, in half an hour of an incense, I got a Meowth, a Bellsprout, a Psyduck, a Cubone, a Pikachu, a Krabby, a Magikarp, a Ghastly, a Tentacool, a Pidgey, a Machop, a Charmander, a Rattata, a Ponyta, a Zubat, a Bulbasaur, a Poliwag, another Rattata, a Caterpie, another Psyduck, another Tentacool, another Staryu, a Ponyta, a Vulpix, a Jigglypuff, and a Paris.
Because they, if you're moving at a certain speed, they show up every minute. So it was
just Pokemon City.
It was frantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed a couple too.
It's really too many Pokemon when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, Pokemon dogpile.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Anyway, that may not be relevant to most of you, but thought it was interesting.
How can there not be like a partridge Pokemon that like the evolution that's like in a little tree?
I like it.
Kai has Charmander's Fox. Foxbar will work out a system where you can trade the Bulbasaurs for Charmanders, because there's a fairly regular Charmander spawn, but like I caught a Bulbasaur, but I've only ever caught one other Bulbasaur. So.
All right, we're ready for this.
Let's do it.
All right.
So.
Ready, Kathleen?
Are we? How are we doing this at this time? Are we gonna do the
I'll read the.
I
comments.
cannot really read the screen.
You can't see it at all?
Well, and where they display, I don't think I'm going to be able to see more than the first half of somebody's name.
All right.
All right, I will read the names then, I guess. We'll see what we can do.
All right, well, I'll read them off of here.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Richards for 34 months.
Says, have to go to work, so we'll enjoy this on the replay. Point at all the checks.
Yay.
Devin Sanity has subscribed for 32 months in a row.
Says, time to point the checks or something.
Rainbow Puking Panda for 16 months.
Welcome back.
Yay.
Exachi Kitsune.
Exachix Kitsune.
Exachix Kitsune has subscribed for 11 months in a row.
And says a little waving emote.
It's like half of a high five.
Takiyoshi for 31 months.
Says celebratory honking noises.
Bearded Canuck has subscribed for 4 months in a row.
Whee! I too am a bearded Canuck.
Wasser 3000 or Wazer 3000 for 6 months.
It's a very weeful wazer. Says, keep checking those points.
Clockwork Penguin just subscribed. Hooray! Finally, a wind-up penguin for our penguin needs.
And
MTV CDM.
yes, that came in a different order for some reason.
Oh, weird. All right, well, 22-month reset from MTV CDM saying, I'm seeing more non-Americans on screen than I have in 1.5 weeks of NBC Olympic coverage.
Beck Bell for 30 months.
Round 30. Here's to 30 more, says Beck Bell. Thank you.
Jard42 has subscribed for 5 months.
Pronounced shard.
Oh.
More vegetarian sandworms, please.
Shard42.
Bond Ilouv
Bonduv.
for 16 months.
15 minutes late. This is the worst.
Zabaron has subscribed for 34 months in a row. Holy moly, 34 months. Thank you.
Mercanio for 82. Mercano 82 for 32 months.
Says 0 times 20 hype. Thank you, Mercano82.
Waffle Fortress has subscribed for 15 months in a row. A delicious, structurally unsound fortress.
I was going to say, I want one now.
Gorimo9 for 3 months.
Welcome back, Goremo9.
Merciary has subscribed for 9 months.
And says, sub baby. Sub baby.
Cortanios for 21 months.
I can finally celebrate the end of leather-related jokes with digital alcohol. Just kidding. Great show, LRR.
Don't worry, I'll always make more leather jokes.
User with name 17 for 32 months.
Welcome back, user with name 17.
Expando, 3-year sub hype.
Expando, 36 months. Thank you and welcome back.
Pina Cal Chaos for 18 months.
Welcome back, Pina Cal Chaos.
What an exciting drink. Batten makes me feel good. Subscribe for 3 months in a row.
Says, check those points.
And Jaharden87 for 6 months.
Welcome back, J Harden 87. Thank you.
That's probably what it is.
Orion Pax 21 for 2 months in a row. Thank you, Orion Pax.
Says, glad I'm able to support you guys again. Thanks for keeping me laughing through some rough times. You are very welcome, Orion
I will
Pax.
never attend Orion Pax. I refuse to leave the planet for a Pax.
Yeah, Pax Orion is a little,
Pax Orion, just say no.
it's a little far afield.
That's, yeah.
You got to go into cryosleep is a whole thing.
No, he's not worth it.
No.
And they still haven't done a PAX UK. So
I know.
annoying.
I know. Pax
We're
Orion.
literally going to a moon of Saturn before we're going to... No,
Yeah.
just say no.
And that's it.
That was checkpoints. Excuse
So,
me.
because there was a bunch of us were out of town for a wedding, James didn't get the streams trailer out the door. But I can tell you that tonight, on Matters of Import, Beej and Ian will be playing Choaniki. What's the name of it? I want to get it right. It's a
Choaniki Weeaboo.
It's a not good name.
Somebody said on one of our Japan vlog.
Senaru Protein Detsetsu.
So Choaniki Senaru do Protein.
Senaru Protein Densetsu.
What the fuck is that?
You've seen the Choaniki games, haven't you?
If you do a search for it, you'll see cover pictures and stuff.
They're the incredibly homoerotic side-scrolling shooters.
Yes, that's it.
Somebody sent it to us.
And now we're gonna
believe,
play
yeah.
it. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Or not. I'm not gonna play it. We're gonna play it.
And tomorrow, on New Day Tuesday, James is going to be playing Eternal.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1 p.m. start time.
I don't know what game he's going to be playing, but he's going to be playing it for a long time.
I do want to just point out that Ian and Beej are not could they get Corey into because Choaniki is hard and Corey's better at video games than either of them. She could really do Choaniki justice.
I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be
You get to watch Choaniki, so
Yeah. Somehow I don't think their skill level at the game is going to influence it that much.
Yeah. So, but you're definitely going to want to tune in tomorrow for Eternal, which is the digital card game that Direwolf Digital is making. And,
Oh, nice.
For example, that's where
LSV works.
There you go.
And a couple of other high-level Magic
the
players, I
embargo
think,
has
actually.
been lifted on it.
On streaming the beta, I believe. Yeah. So
Sweet.
should be good stuff. But that's it for Checkpoint for now. So thank you all for watching and welcome back all the subs and welcome new subs and
Thanks, everybody.
We'll talk to you.
You guys
later.
are great.
Yay.
Bye.
Yee.